ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Your favorite course, your favorite foursome, your favorite score. What's your Dream 18? We visit with the names you know to relive their favorite 18 holes of golf. It's the Dream 18 Show, presented by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors.
And today on the Dream 18 Show, we have Russell Knox, who we will be catching up with, Jacksonville resident, former JU golfer, and world-class golfer. He will check in and share his favorite round of golf. And we have some big topics in the golf world as well, so I think he will talk about that too. Brent Martineau at Davoli's House of Cards each and every Wednesday, 2 o'clock, up until the end of June. That's where we did this, a first season of the Dream 18 Show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors and Power Team. And it's a 12-episode series, or season, if you will. And so we'll take you all the way up until the end of June. And boy, it's a good thing we started the golf show, right, Casey? Plenty to talk about. Maybe we didn't need to get the guests on in the show. Maybe we just talk an hour about golf, and it's one of the most polarizing times in the history of the sport right now, and we're in the thick of it, the middle of it, and it's kind of coming to a bit of a crescendo here in the next 24 hours.
Yeah, good time to start a show, I guess. But, yeah, things are interesting in the world of golf for sure, and, yeah, to your point, 24 hours. Things will change if they haven't changed already. We got more people who might be going over there. Obviously, nothing's official yet, but more reports today of Patrick Reed and Bryson DeChambeau leaving the PGA Tour. So, whole lot going on, and I'm kind of surprised that we're still here. Like, we had that first wave of people when the field dropped, and then obviously Phil wasn't on it, but that was not really a surprise. But I think the fact that more keep getting added is a surprise to me, at least at this point.
Yeah, I think it's picking up more steam than maybe I initially thought. When you throw Dustin Johnson in the mix, and he was kind of always in the mix, and then you have a lot of no-namers, which we'll go through in a bit just to show you the no-namers in this first event. It's not like they're coming out in a bang, you know? Like, I mean, you talk about their field, this 48-player field for this first event in London, and the Saudi League is like, okay, there's some big names. Obviously, Phil Mickelson's big, Dustin Johnson's big, and there are some other names that you know, and then there's like 35 to 40 names. You're like, who is that?
Yeah.
You know, it seriously is that. But you keep adding Bryson DeChambeau now, and maybe Ricky Fowler, who's been rumored, and Patrick Reed, and again, names you know, games that maybe aren't great right now, which I think is an interesting dynamic, but does that matter? And the more names you add, I think the less that does matter. That's where I've been. Listen, I'm on the PGA Tour side of this thing. Like, I think what they've built, what we have in our own backyard, which is the headquarters of the PGA Tour, that probably gives me a little bias toward it anyway. I've said this from day one. Not a huge Greg Norman fan to begin with. I don't think he's a very likable person and figure in the sport, at least from my lens and the contacts I've had with him in the past. And so there's a little bias even in that. Plus, I don't think any of us like the principle of being bought. You know, I just don't think people like that. Like, I tweeted today when I saw Phil Mickelson with the founders of the league and everything, I'm like, this is like the ultimate buy your friends moment in sports.
True.
And I don't think we like that. Like, people don't like that. It doesn't sit well with us. There's just a stigma about that. And so I think there is a little bit of that, even for me. It's like, come on. Like, this guy, Phil Mickelson would never be playing golf with these guys if he wasn't being handed $200 million.
Yeah.
But, as I say to other people, I think the players should get a little bit, maybe less criticism at times than they're getting, although there are some political things in here, too, with Saudi Arabia, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's a factor in all of this, and it should be from a principled nature standpoint. I think that's why guys like Rory McIlroy hasn't jumped, because there's a principled nature to what he's doing. And I appreciate that, too, really respect that. But at the same time, if you're one of these players that I don't even know your name and you can go make $25 million without even posting a score, I mean, that's hard to pass up now.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to pass up. So, I mean, I credit the guys that have passed it up. I think that's hard to do, too. This isn't like an easy thing.
No.
And it's not like the PGA Tour is perfect. It's not a perfect entity, especially if you're an employer, meaning like the golf players, the pro players. And they're not technically an employer because, they kind of work for themselves. But you get my point. So It's a fascinating deal right now going on in the sport of golf, which has raised a lot of questions, curiosity. We've likened it to, is this the USFL, NFL? Remember, if you go all the way back to the early 80s, you're looking at a guy like in Trump with the USFL that had a ton of money. Of money. And you're looking at an NFL product that was not near the product it is now. Like franchises like the Denver Broncos weren't being sold for $4.75 billion in 1983. So I actually think the PGA Tour is on a better standing, if you will, than maybe even the NFL was back then. I mean, the PGA Tour, people don't realize this. Just because the Saudi League is throwing around money like it's going out of style, and they really are, and it's like doesn't look like they're operating as like a business and even care if they make money. The PGA Tour is a monster, not just here in Northeast Florida, not just in the United States, not just in North America. It's a monster globally. Like, it's a really big deal. Don't sleep on how big of an organization the PGA Tour is my point. So it just represents a how intrigued are you with all this, Casey? Because as the days go by and the crescendo, as I mentioned, comes to maybe today into tomorrow and this weekend, I do find myself more fascinated by the different storylines of it.
Yeah, I'd say moderately. I am intrigued. I don't know, like, if I'll wake up early and watch, right? Because now, granted, the England part plays into that. If it was like the upcoming events in like the United States, yeah, I probably will watch because I think I am intrigued by it. I think there's so much unknown, but I guess at the end of the day, it's golf, right? And just seeing how it's handled and seeing some of the rules that play out and how some of the structure plays out, I think there is intrigue even for people that might not be a fan of it. I think you're at least interested to see what they're doing and if it's good. Because at the end of the day, it's good. People are going to watch. So, yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued no matter, like, the field that, like you said, it's not great, but I'm still intrigued even with that field. And if they add Bryson and Patrick Reed, obviously down the line, then great. I won't be any more intrigued because those two are there. But I want to see the product. I want to see how it plays out. And if at the end of the day, if it's fun to watch and interesting, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, and it's different. It's got some quirky, kind of almost goofy things, but sometimes those goofy things work down the road. It feels real goofy right now, but sometimes that works.
Yeah.
How worried should the PGA Tour be by all this? It's a question I've talked to some folks about in the last couple of days. What's their sense of alarm? They're certainly cognizant of it. Jay Monahan, the commissioner of the PGA Tour, who I really like, is, he was pretty adamant at the Players' Championship when he spoke about this. And when are they going to come down with a ruling on can you play, can't you play? Like, they certainly are against this whole idea, no doubt. But what will they do? The ball could be in their court soon enough on some of these players. And I'll get into that a little bit more. But how worried should the PGA Tour be at the moment and looking down the road into the future?
Probably not. I mean, if you believe what people say, right, I guess you've seen some guys say that they're not going to leave and then they do leave. But when you have your biggest ambassadors like Justin Thomas and like Rory McIlroy speaking out and saying they're not going, then at the end of the day, you don't really have a lot to worry about. There's a lot of people that play golf, right, on the PGA Tour that you don't even know of. And you lose those guys, okay. But if you're still holding on to those main guys that have become hugely popular, like Justin Thomas, like Rory, even Scotty Scheffler now, as long as you hold on to those guys, or at least the majority of them, there's probably nothing to worry about because the PGA Tour is not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so either, and it's just so many different conversations you can have about this. I'll tell you this: the Live Golf, the Saudi League, they're smart in two ways. The more I think about it, well, one is they've got such deep pockets that they just don't care about money. No. I mean, they really don't care about money. Like, they will throw it away and it doesn't matter. This is not a business model to sustain if you want to make money. Like, they're not worried about it. Because you can't just sit here and throw $200 million at a guy like Phil Mickelson, $125 million at Dustin Johnson, and millions at other people that nobody even heard of without even making a penny. Like, who would do that? Nobody does it. Well, they can because they've got money everywhere. It's obviously deep pockets where money just doesn't matter. It seems like a lot to us, but it doesn't matter. So that's one thing. If you have that kind of money and you don't care what you do with it, and you just, in essence, if you want to just throw it away if this thing doesn't work, well, I mean, it's hard to combat that. I think the smart thing they have done, though, now that more and more of that, I didn't care about Dustin Johnson because he's boring. Dustin Johnson hasn't won in 18 months. He's got 2 top 10s in the last 18 months since he won the Masters. Yes, he is still a good player, to a very good player, who can win on the PGA Tour. but he's not there every week. And even when he is there, he's boring. We had that discussion. He's a boring player. That's it. I don't not like DJ. He's boring. And so it doesn't matter if he's a part of your league. Well, Phil Mickelson is obviously a guy that really is built to be a fan-friendly guy. Now, he's never had more of an image repair problem than right now. True. In the sport of golf with a lot of those fans. He's got an image repair thing to go in. But if that works out, well, Phil could be this huge mega star. DeChambeau is a big name that has people that polarizing, right? People like him. People don't like him. Patrick Reed, kind of the same way. Like, what side are you on with Patrick Reed? If they get Ricky Fowler, these are popular names. Their games are not near as big as their names anymore, or haven't been in recent memory. But they are big names, popular names. That's probably a pretty good tactic, Casey, to at least get the popular guys, the guys that are going to brand, the guys that are going to sell, and the guys that you still have, if you're a fan of them, you're like, I still think they can play. They can win. They're good. In your mind, you think they're good. Even though, quite frankly, if you look at their stats and resume over the last couple of years, a lot of those guys aren't good, Casey.
Yeah, they're not. There's a lot of guys on this tour that are obviously more name than game right now, but I think the interesting one is obviously Bryson DeChambeau because he's been hurt. I'm not a fan of the guy. I've said that before, but he's pretty good, right? When he's on, incredibly on. So I think that's a very interesting move for him to make because he's still probably had a lot to accomplish in the PGA Tour. So I think that one's interesting to me. But to the other guys, yeah, there's probably more of a name there. But the DeChambeau one is one to watch because I'm still surprised that if it does indeed happen, I'd still be surprised.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. We're going to talk more about it, really, from 3 to 6 on our show today. I think it's a topic we won't do all 3 hours on it, but we'll have more conversation, more on this show as well. We still have our Power Tee picks of the week coming in. We're not doing the Live Golf picks, right?
No, I don't think so.
Canadian Open instead. And we catch up with a Jacksonville guy and pro golfer who just really got off a long stretch of playing some golf, Russell Knox, when we come back. It's the Dream 18 show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors and Power Tee, live from Davoli's House of Cards in St. Johns County.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
When you look at a schedule, it reveals more than even the schedule what you really think about that team. Bad teams, their schedules always look brutal because they're no good, so you don't think they're going to win many games. Good teams, you look at the schedule, oh, it's not so bad because they're favored in a lot of those games. I guess I would also take the under on the Jets, but just. Like, I think 5.5 games is right. I'll take the under.
Key, J, and Max. Followed by Greeny. Mornings on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Mostly to partly sunny skies today. An isolated shower and thunderstorm developing early to mid-afternoon. Highs in the low to mid-90s, inland and mid to upper 80s at the coast. Dry tonight, partly cloudy. Overnight down to the low 70s. From the Action News Jax First Alert Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Garrett Beedenball.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds.
Beards has higher quality diamonds for less money than any other store.
It's a good time to upgrade around your home. You like the sound of reducing noise coming in the house? Do you want to be more energy efficient at your house? Let Florida Georgia Windows and Doors upgrade your home. 35 years of experience to get the job done. Protect your home from storms and increase your home security with modern windows and doors from Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. 904-641-7010. 904-641-7010. Save money, look better, protect your home with Florida Georgia Windows and Doors.
Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Living in Florida, we don't really worry about the seasons except for one, hurricane season. And since your home is the most important asset, protecting your home with Rhino Shield against the harsh Florida weather is good for your house and it's good for your budget. As they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And when it comes to your house, those cracks in the walls will cost you thousands if not repaired. Rhino Shield waterproofs your home with a coating that is 13 times thicker than box store paint. He has a Class A fire rating, is salt-air corrosive resistant, and comes in any color. Plus, with our 25-year warranty, you get a 100% non-prorated transferable warranty. Call Rhino Shield today, 904-519-5055, or visit us online. The bottom line with Rhino Shield, you'll never have to paint again.
St. Michael's Soldiers is a grassroots effort to support the local military and their families, and is also a proud beneficiary of the Dream 18 charities. St. Michael's Soldiers sends thousands of care packages to men and women overseas annually. They also host special events for Gold Star and Blue Star families in the Jacksonville area. Plus, they support first responders with their Homegrown Kindness Project. They also hold events like Rock the Box Charity Concert and Stuffing Stockings for Soldiers. Follow St. Michael's Soldiers on Facebook, Instagram, and at stmichaelsoldiers.org.
A new era is here for Jaguars football. New championship-winning coach, new superstars, and new optimism. One consistent this fall is Tailgaters Parking will still be delivering the very best tailgating experience at the bank all season. Tailgaters Parking doesn't just talk a big game. They're right across the street from TIAA Bank Field. Offer clean, permanent restrooms, food options, a full liquor bar, and all parking spots are on a well-kept grass lot. Check out Tailgaters Parking at tailgatorsparking.com to reserve your spot today.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text LOCAL to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older,
52, 36,
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor
about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
Listen to ESPN 690 anytime, anywhere, on any device. Whether you're at home or on the go, get the latest on the Jags, FSU, the Jumbo Shrimp, and Action Sports Jacks on Odyssey.com. That's AUDACY.com or on ESPN690.com.
Hey, welcome back to DeVoli's House of Cards. It's the Dream 18 show. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors and Power Tee. And let's get right into it here on the show as we are joined by our next guest live today on the Dream 18 show, and that is pro golfer who lives right here in Jacksonville, out of Jacksonville University, by way of Scotland. And I don't know if he wants to talk more about the Jags and see how they're going to do this year, or maybe some golf, but we'll find out. Russell Knox, how you doing, man?
Yeah, doing well. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
Hey, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. You've been busy. Busy calendar for you so far in 2022, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've chose to play a lot of golf, which has been tiring and exciting, I guess, all at the same time. So I've decided to take a couple of weeks off now, though, so it's definitely nice to kind of burn a hole in the couch.
No doubt about it. You've earned it. It's a little mixed bag so far this year. How do you view your season? You go all the way back to, I think the Players, you were tied for sixth. You had that fantastic run on the weekend. You've got some top 20s, top 15s along the way. I think you go all the way back to the Sony Open in January. It's a top 10. So you've been there. You've played some good golf, but you've mixed in some missed cuts and probably not as good a golf as you probably would like to play at times.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the kind of nail on the head there. It's been a very kind of bizarre year. Yeah, there's been some great moments, obviously highlighted with the Players there in Ponte Vedra. But I think I've played a lot of really good golf this year and just kind of turned it into a mediocre finish. So I've had a kind of a bunch of 35th, somewhere in there, and which maybe should have been 15th or potentially top 10th. So all of a sudden, kind of like a mediocre year could have been a great year. We're just finishing the tournament off correctly, but no, it's been good. I mean, hey, things are getting harder. I'm getting older, and so yeah. I mean, every good tournament that I can play is obviously a huge success, and we'll just keep firing, and hopefully it'll all come together again.
That's interesting you say you're getting older. I was just looking up. You're 36 years old, and that's not old, of course, but in sports that can get older. We just saw Billy Horschel win this past weekend. He's 35 years old. That means there's plenty of good golf in you guys, too, but it's also a young man's game in this weird mix where you can still be in your 40s and do well, a la Phil Mickelson win the major last year at 50 years old. I mean, but you said it. I mean, do you kind of feel like the old guy? Is the clock ticking, or are there a lot more opportunities out there for you?
I mean, it's a great question, one which I've asked myself actually here the last year or two. But I mean, golf's a unique game in the fact that, like, comparing it to football or soccer or really any other professional sport. I mean, when you approach 30 and mid-30s, obviously you have rare cases, but once you kind of approach your mid-30s, you're like almost done. So, I mean, golf is such a unique game in that you can prolong your career with good health and obviously good continued ability on the course. So it is a strange one. I mean, this is my 11th year now on the PGA Tour, and I've been pro for, I guess, 15. So, I mean, I would certainly love to do it another 15 years. So that's why I mean, you got to take care of your body and practice hard and keep that desire to perform up, because I mean, it certainly is a dream come true to be able to compete at the sport you love for a living.
Russell, thanks for joining us. But one thing that has always I've been crazy about with you is for the last 4 or 5 years, you've been consistently an incredible player on approach. Like, I do a lot of fantasy golf. That's I dive into the stats, look at these tournaments, what's important. And you have been incredibly good on approach for the last 5 years in your career. Is that something when you started golf, you were always good with an iron in your hand, or how did you become such a great approach player?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, that has been the strength of my career. But I mean, I think when I just kind of graduated college and I was working with my coach at the time, Mike Fleming, I think we just kind of drilled that into my game, and we just practiced a lot of 9 irons, 7 irons, 5 irons, or whatever, and just kind of put in the time to become very consistent with those. And as my career kind of started on the PGA Tour, I just realized that I obviously was just going to have a lot of those shots. Not being kind of a longer power player, I was going to have to be very good from 150 to 200 yards, because I was just going to have a lot of those shots. So I just practiced hard at those. So yeah, I mean, it's been a huge strength of mine throughout my career. So hopefully we can just slightly improve some of the weaknesses and maintain that strength.
Yeah, it's really a fine line. I mean, 2 wins in Russell Knox's career, 25 top 10 finishes, made a ton of cuts, and obviously has earned some nice checks along the way. He joins us on the Dream 18 show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors and Power Tee. Russell Knox, we're going to get into today's golf world and your favorite round of golf in just a moment. But if I look at the rest of this calendar year, what are your immediate goals? You're 72nd in the FedEx Cup points. What do you look at the rest of the summer into the fall? What are you trying to accomplish as you narrow down your goals to finish off this season?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, try to finish in the top 70 here in the FedEx Cup for this season. I mean, it's been a couple of years since I was able to do that, so. I feel like here with kind of 4, 5, 6 events left that I'll play before the playoffs here, it's a very realistic goal, and one which I would be disappointed if I didn't achieve. But because of the kind of the body of work I've put in this year, I feel like I'm 1 or 2 very good performances away from achieving that, and anything else would kind of be a bonus, to be perfectly honest.
We are right now, you're joining us live on the Dream 18 show on a Wednesday before really what I've called already today on the show, this crescendo of maybe polarization in the sport of golf, like the biggest we've ever seen, or at least in recent memory. What's your view on this? That's the question every golfer gets asked right now. What Saudi League, PGA Tour, how do you feel about what's going on right now?
Yeah, I mean, I figured you'd ask me this question, but I guess I didn't have an answer prepared. No, it's been definitely a strange couple months in professional golf, and then obviously this week it's a big one. But it's strange. I have some good friends that have decided to go play the Live Tour, and also some friends. I mean, I guess including myself, that did not look into it and are very happy playing golf on the PGA Tour. So it's a strange one to me. And to be honest, I mean, the guys that went have done it for one reason and one reason only, and that's the money. But that's my opinion. And I don't know. You can sit there and criticize them or praise them, but I mean, I guess you just have to kind of take it for what it is and focus on what you want as an individual. And I'm perfectly happy playing on the PGA Tour for as long as I can.
Yeah, I said this earlier in the show, Russell. Like, I'm not sure I can hammer these guys. I mean, if Dustin Johnson's getting a $125 million check before he tees it up, I mean, that's a pretty healthy amount of money to turn down. I mean, not everybody's going to get offered that kind of money, but you've made a good amount of money in your career. I mean, it does make you think, right? I mean, the amount of money getting thrown around here.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I guess I could have potentially maybe doubled my earnings in one day. So it's a very bizarre kind of situation, I guess, in golf. And I don't know. I don't want to sit here and bash the guys that have went for the money, but it's a strange one. I mean, I've been fortunate, like in my career, I've won a few times and I've done well. So I'm not living paycheck to paycheck, fortunately. But I mean, it's difficult. It's difficult to have an honest opinion without kind of really hurting people's feelings. But it's not for me. I'm just going to put it that way.
Yeah, and you live right here. The PGA Tour is headquartered here. I've got to be honest, and I've said this on our show, I'm biased a little bit toward the PGA Tour. I know a lot of people over there. Like, I like it in our backyard. I see all the good. I see what it's created for so many people and players like you and giving back to communities, and it's a big, big deal. But what I don't understand, are there major issues from players with the PGA Tour? Like, or is it just normal, like, workplace kind of stuff? Like, I wish this was better here or this better here, or I mean, do those things exist, like, in your world? Do you guys talk about that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, players always want to try and make things better, even if the PGA Tour is a incredibly successful company. But yeah, I mean, I think what's happened is some players, maybe the bigger players, have just kind of compared their earnings to maybe other sports like the NFL and Major League Baseball and whatnot, and just maybe thought that they were getting paid less than they deserved, I guess. I mean, because golf is such a unique sport in the fact that you have to earn every check that you make. If you miss the cut, you leave with nothing. So I think the attractiveness of guaranteed income even before you play was obviously a huge lure to people to sign to live golf. And yeah, I mean, the guys that did it obviously got rich very quickly, and they'll continue to play for enormous purses week in, week out.
Yeah, just make sure they buy dinner, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Russell Knox with us here in the Dream 18 show. Appreciate your candidness on those questions, too. It's just it's a crazy, wild time. And by the way, I will say this. I'm not sure, and I'm going to talk more about this as the day goes on, I'm not sure this is necessarily a bad thing for the PGA Tour. I mean, we have CVS and Walgreens. We have Burger King and McDonald's. And, everybody does well. So, like, it's a possibility that this could even be a good thing for the PGA Tour. All right, let's get to why I asked you on the show, and we appreciate you jumping on the show. And what we do here is we like to get everybody's favorite 18 holes of golf. And not like per hole, but round. And very interesting when we talk to the professionals. I wonder where you go here, Russ. Is this your favorite round from a victory? Is this with your buddies out in Jack's Beach or at TPC Sawgrass, like where no cameras are on? If I say that to you, your favorite 18 holes that you've played in your life, all 36 years, where does your mind go to?
Yeah, I mean, such a difficult question. I mean, the last kind of hour or so, when I was kind of skimming over what we're going to talk about, I was thinking about this, and man, I've logged obviously so many rounds of golf in my career all over the world, fortunately. And I mean, the obvious kind of answer would be my lowest score, right? So 59 in 2013 at the Albertsons Boise Open on the now Korn Ferry Tour. I mean, that's obviously got to be in the conversation because shooting sub 60 is like the holy grail of golf. So So that's definitely up there, I would say.
What happened that day? It's funny, we had Jim Furyk on to start this show. We debuted the show this year, and he was our first guest, and he talked about his 58 and 59 as a couple of those sub-60s, of course, as you know. What was different about that day? Do you remember at 59 on the what now is the Korn Ferry Tour? I think it might have been the Web.com Tour back then.
Yeah, I mean, it was a strange day. Actually, I started off reasonably slowly. I think I was 2 under through 5 or 6 holes. So it wasn't like I just got off to the most outrageous start. I mean, obviously it was a good solid start, and then I think I snuck in an eagle on a short par 5, and I maybe turned a 4 under or so. And then I remember I think I made another eagle, and then all of a sudden I made like 3 of my longest putts of the year in a row. So I made like a 60-footer, 50-footer, 45-footer all in a row. And then I just came on some like perfect pitching wedge yardages. So I just had like full pitching wedge straight at the pin. So like obviously when you have these good rounds, like things like that happen. You might chip in when you miss the green. You might hole a huge putt here or there. Perfect yardages, a great drive on a very demanding hole. Like all these little things add up. And obviously when I think I shot 12 under. I think it was a par 71. A lot of things went in my favor, obviously, that day.
Russell Knox with us here on the Dream 18 show. I've always wondered this for you guys, like your caliber player, and I say you guys, when you have a course that's gettable, is that almost more pressure on you than maybe, let's just say you're playing in a U.S. Open where you know like even par is a good number? Like, is there more pressure to go out and get birdies when you know there are low scores maybe earlier in the day and the course looks like somebody's going to shoot 62 and 63 or maybe in that case even have flirt with a sub-60 round?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great question, and sometimes, like, a great example would be, like, in the desert, the Palm Springs tournament, the American Express, I think it's called now. And because those are courses where if you play well, shooting 6, 7, 8 under par is very, very possible, even lower. So if you do get off to a slow start, maybe make a mess of a super easy hole or hit one in the water or whatever, and you're a couple over early, you do kind of tend to panic and be like, man, I'm already 10 shots behind if somebody teed off earlier in the day and shot 8 under. So, but yeah, I much prefer playing the kind of par as a good score golf course. But at the same time, if you are playing well and hitting good shots, it's certainly more fun to shoot super low scores.
No doubt about it. Fun to add up. You know, you were thinking about that question I asked you about your favorite 18 holes or favorite round of golf. What else jumped in your mind? I mean, was it anything from like early on, your childhood or growing up in Scotland, or maybe it was a college golf? Did anything else kind of flirt with that 59 that pops in your head? I always look at this like when somebody asks a question like that that's so broad, which it is a broad question, I understand. Like, where's my snapshots in my mind go to? Where else did yours go to? What else did you maybe think about?
I mean, just hearing you talk about Jim Furyk, we can talk about him a couple of times. The day that he maybe mentioned when he shot 58, that was also the Sunday that I won the Travelers Championship. Right. So that maybe Jim Furyk's favorite round was also mine because I ended up with the trophy. So so that was kind of cool. I would say also too, kind of just jumping on the Jim Furyk bandwagon. The first time I ever played Pebble Beach, I played with Jim Furyk in a practice round. So this would have been maybe 2012 or 2013, and we played. I think it was just the two of us. It was maybe one other person joined us. Then we were out playing Pebble Beach on the Tuesday. It was 75 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, and 0 wind. So I just remember thinking, wow, this was a really fun day to get to play with one of my childhood legends and heroes in Jim and play this iconic course in such flawless weather. So that was definitely a round that I remember, even though it was a round for fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's kind of soak it in, a little heaven on earth right there for a bit for Russell Knox as he joins us. All right, I'm going to wrap up with you, but a few real quick, like lightning round questions, if you don't mind. you're an ambassador for North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. By the way, Dream 18 and our charity golf tournament that we'll have in September, and we've now raised a couple $100,000 goes toward North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. My buddy Jack Oschenbach, who does a fantastic job growing junior golf in the area, and St. Michael Soldiers as well, that helps local military. And Russell has kind of joined hands a little bit with NFJG over the last few years. How important is that to you still to give back in this community, but also to the sport and to the youth and that next generation now that, as we talked about, quote, you're a little bit of an old guy now?
Yeah, no, it's obviously very important for everyone. I mean, like you said, Jack there, I keep in touch with him, and I mean, he's incredible for what he does. I mean, he's out there all the time helping the kids get to play these tournaments all over North Florida here, so he's a true legend. But no, it's been really fun for me because my niece and nephew, Anthony and Sophia, they're 12 and 17, so they've been playing in all these junior events locally here. So it's been really fun for me to follow their careers and get to play with them and follow them in tournaments and kind of almost like reminisce of my junior golfing career through them. So it's been super fun to be a part of just making their golfing career slightly better and helping out the kids here locally in Jacksonville is always fun.
Yeah, that's good. We mentioned Jim Furyk, but there are so many local golfers that are pro golfers in this area. Some I don't even know that live here, and I know everybody's kind of, collapsed on this area or Sea Island, St. Simon's Island. Do you guys hang out a lot? Like, I mean, Cam Smith or Billy or Furyk or, you name it. I mean, there's so many guys. Like I mentioned, do you guys find yourself hanging out or you get away from each other when you're back home?
Yeah, I mean, everyone's different with that, obviously. I mean, I'm more of the kind of antisocial person, to be honest, when I'm at home. I mean, I spend time with my wife and my dog, my family, her family, her niece and nephew. So yeah, not too much socializing. I mean, my best friend in town here is probably David Lingmerth, so we catch up with him when we can. But I mean, everyone's life is so busy and hectic that it is difficult to all to get together. But it's nice when if somebody can do well, win a tournament or whatever, and have like a celebration or whatever at the end of the year. So it's always nice. It's more December hanging out rather than kind of middle of the year, though.
That makes sense. Hey, do you have a Trevor Lawrence jersey yet, or what?
I don't, but I mean, this year, I've slacked off a little last couple of years being a kind of a bad Jags fan, but
well, they've been bad for you too.
Yeah, well, that's true, but I mean, that's no reason why you shouldn't support your team. I mean, you should always support the team through the good and the bad times. But no, this year I'm definitely going to try to get into it more, and then hopefully the city can get behind the team like they did a few years back, and we can start to win some games.
Yeah, remind me, who's your soccer team?
I'm a Manchester United fan, so they're currently in the kind of the bad run right now. So hopefully both my teams, with Man United and the Jags, can start to play better.
All right. Hey, man, we know you're taking a break from golf a little bit, trying to spend time with the family. I appreciate you taking 20 minutes or so to hang out with us here on the Dream 18 show. Always good catching up with you, Russell. Thanks, man.
Yeah, absolutely. All the best, guys.
Thank you. That's Russell Knox, former JU golfer, lives in Jacksonville, and really a fun guy, fun personality. Appreciate his remarks, too, on the Live Golf and what's going on there. And, Casey, you could tell, right? I mean, like Rory McIlroy is very much talking about the money right now. There's a feeling on one end, the Rorys, the looks like Russell Knox's, that, listen, it is what it is. It's all about chasing the money. And I don't feel comfortable chasing the money. And then there are other guys like, hey, that's a lot of money. It's hard to not chase the money. But honest with you, I get both sides. Like, I wish I would be the Russell Knox, Rory guys, and I give them a ton of credit. But I'm just not sure I can hammer the other guys. Like, they are dangling a lottery ticket over there. And you can call all the other stuff. Like, everybody, now this big term, which I'd never even heard of, is like sports washing. And, again, the politics into it and all this stuff, I can't deny that that's a lot of money to turn down. Like, yeah. Russell Knox basically said, and I didn't want to bring this up, I didn't want to embarrass him, but he's won 2 times on tour. He's made 25 top 10 finishes. He's played in 264 events and 175 cuts made. And he's made over $16 million in his career.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing well.
Very well.
And by the way, like that's a lot. That's overtime, right? But he said in one day he could double his career earnings.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing that when he said it kind of clicked in my head back here. I was like, wow, like it's crazy. It's crazy money, and you admire, I guess, what these guys like Russell Knox, he has principles and he has morals, and he's not going to break those. And not saying that Dustin Johnson doesn't, and not saying any of those guys don't have them, but Russell Knox is really comfortable being who he is, and he's fine with that, and you got to commend him for that, absolutely. But he's definitely not shying away from, he understands there's money there, but he thinks it's more important to stay over here, and you got to respect him for it, absolutely.
Yeah, so that was Russell Knox. We appreciate his time and thoughts on that, and just a lot of fun hanging out with Russell. Certainly a cool guy in town, and good to see him getting back in the Jags fold, too. I thought you might jump in on the Manchester United stuff. I
was going to let him have it, Manchester United, not great.
He said Manchester United, right? Yeah,
he did. Yeah. He did not say City, yeah. I could have, but, who am I, right?
He's just a Chelsea guy.
Yeah, because then he's going to probably yell at me for, not yell at me, he's a nice guy, but he'll probably give me some heat because, Chelsea, and it's a thing.
That is Russell Knox joining us, and it is a thing, according to Casey Kurtz. We'll open some cards. Chelsea, Man U. We should have a
pack battle.
A little pack battle.
There you go.
Who comes up with Chelsea first or Man U first wins?
Well, if you open new stuff, it'll be you because Ronaldo plays for Man U.
There you go. We'll be back. We're live at the Villie's House of Cards all the way until 6 o'clock. We talk a little bit more golf before we head into the other sports world, although other sports includes golf today, just to let you know, because this is a huge story around the globe with this Saudi League starting up tomorrow and all the comments coming in from just about everywhere on it. But coming up next, our Power Tee picks of the week on the PGA Tour. We'll be back on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, the Dream 18 show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors and Power Tee.
What's up? It's Casey of Action Sports Jacks, and the local coverage on ESPN 690 is expanding yet again. After Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, we have been bringing you overtime on Mondays and Thursdays, but that has now changed. You can catch Brian Middleton and myself daily after Action Sports Jacks and leading you into Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. So starting at 3 p.m. daily, we will have local coverage all night from Action Sports Jacks to OT to Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, all right here on ESPN 690.
It's a good time to upgrade around your home. You like the sound of reducing noise coming in the house? Do you want to be more energy efficient at your house? Let Florida Georgia Windows and Doors upgrade your home. 35 years of experience to get the job done. Protect your home from storms and increase your home security with modern windows and doors from Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. 904-641-7010. 904-641-7010. Save money, look better, protect your home with Florida Georgia Windows and Doors.
A proud sponsor of the Dream 18 is Power Tee. Find out everything you need to know about them at PowerTee.com because they just make golf better. They provide an automatic teeing system while you are on the range. It is easy. No bending, no extra energy. Just worry about making contact, or trying to, and then Power Tee will tee up another ball for you. Locally, find Power Tee at Fleming Island and Blue Sky Golf Club and all over the world, including St. Andrews. PowerTee.com for all the information, and make golf better.
Hey, where'd you get that synthesizer?
I just bought it. Since we're saving so much with no mortgage down payment and no PMI with Navy Federal Credit Union, I figured I'd put some of that extra money to good use. Oh, and I'm starting a band with some platoon mates.
Great.
Learn how you can save $2,500 on average with a Navy Federal mortgage at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
You want 8 of the flutes and onyx.
Shira's hand-blown glassware blows right off her store's shelves.
Check the back for more indigo bowls.
She needs an inventory manager to help keep her stock on lock.
These are 100% borosilicate. Those aren't. Hey, can someone check the temp on the kiln?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Earn up to $500 in sponsored job credits by conducting interviews on Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
It's a good time of the year to get out and do something. The most active season is the summertime. But if you have joint pain, you can't live like you want to live. The way I want to live, from an active standpoint, exercise and play some golf. Well, I was playing some golf the other day, saw somebody getting out of a cart and limping around the golf course. And I mentioned QC Kinetics. Like I've been telling everybody else, QC Kinetics can help. Hip pain, knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain. All of that really sucks the fun out of living, but QC Kinetics wants to get the fun back for you with advanced regenerative treatments, and they'll give you a totally free in-office consultation if you call 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. Regenerative medicine is the hottest thing going. It's basically taking growth factors with healing properties from your own body, highly concentrated, then putting them into your aching joints. No surgeries, no drugs, no downtime. So stop putting it off. Call QC Kinetics now to learn more about regenerative medicine. 904-274-5522 for a free in-office consultation.
The only thing DIY companies really care about is the homeowner buying the camera. Yeah, it'll show the person breaking into your house, but that's it. SafeTouch's goal is to prevent the crime from happening before the crook even walks up to your door. How? By using the 5-star security and surveillance system that has 5 layers of protection, starting with a SafeTouch sign. Crooks know to stay away from a SafeTouch house. The SafeTouch cameras use analytic technology that identifies boundaries and humans. This alerts the bad guys that they're on camera and being identified. Then the homeowner is notified immediately with a direct camera feed. Entry alerts notify the central station before the bad guys even enter. At SafeTouch, we call it the Always On feature, the exclusive SafeTouch two-way communicator that gives a verified response that goes to the emergency authorities, providing faster response times. The SafeTouch Central Monitoring provides local UL-approved monitoring, unlike other alarm companies that try to monitor customers remotely from an employee's home. Call now for your free demonstration of the newest 5-star system today. State license number EF0000233.
5X480. Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching. But a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Brett Mortno from Action Sports Jacks. Did you know you can watch our radio show? Yeah, video of a radio show. Just search ESPN 690 Jacks on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, or follow me on Twitter at Brent A.S. Jacks. Watch the show live weekdays from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. or listen on ESPN 690. Hey, thanks again to Russell Knox for coming on the show today. I really enjoyed the conversation and really good timing with everything going on in the sports world. And he's a local guy for us here in the Jacksonville area. This is the Dream 18 show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors and Power T, live from Davoli's House of Cards.
That's correct.
Martineau, Casey Kurtz.
You didn't sound confident.
Well, I was going to say, I almost said, and then I stopped, but I'll say it now just because you egged me on.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Wonder, like, will there be a live golf set of cards that comes out?
When you got money, anything's possible.
All right. By the way, here's you're going to give us our Power T picks of the week in a moment.
That's the plan.
That is the plan. The live golf stuff is actually, it's got me fascinated looking at a lot of it now.
You really are fascinated about it.
Yeah, I didn't look at the nuts and bolts very often over the last. Like, I just was more on the idea of it. Right. Okay. And so then now you dive into it because it's starting, and it's like yesterday or 2 days ago, I think they had the team captains named and those goofy names that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And just all. And by the way, it's a 3-day tournament, which I think, if you followed along, you probably know. But it's different. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right? It ends on Saturday.
Yeah.
Instead of Sunday.
You're correct.
Like, I wonder if that's a benefit to the golfer. Is that appealing?
Yeah, it's one less day of work for more money.
Yeah, I don't know if that's. Maybe I should have asked Russell Knox that. Like, is that? I mean, obviously the money's the appeal, right? But I just don't know if maybe that's appealing too.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, you got a bunch of older guys, right? That probably don't want to play 4 rounds. You got a lot of guys that are nearly eligible for the Champions Tour. So I'm sure that is appealing for them. And then when you have guys like Taylor Gooch, he's like, hey, I only have to play 3 rounds and win. That's appealing. Like, you only got to play 3 good rounds instead of 4.
Yeah, there is something appealing to that. Okay, so you are like golf guru guy.
Sure.
There's 48 players playing this week, right? And it's like a team sport.
Talking live.
Go figure it out on the live stuff. There's still some of it that's a little confusing. But it probably, if it becomes, more mainstream, then maybe it's something that we like or don't like or talk about more and we understand more. I'm going to say some of these names wrong, but I want you are a deep dive golf guy.
Yeah.
You got to tell me if you've heard of this person or not.
Sure. I can do that.
Dustin Johnson, yes.
Yeah, I have.
Sean Norris.
Yes, actually.
I have not. Oliver Becker.
Don't think so.
Kevin Wan, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
Y-U-A-N.
Yes.
You have? Not me. Phil Mickelson, yes. Justin Harding.
No, 100%.
Is it Tanya's brother?
No. Not even close, I don't think.
Listen, he'd be more popular if he was.
Bro, Justin Harding's won a couple times on the European Tour.
Has he really?
Yes. He's real.
Now, we should do a contest to say some of these other names.
Boy.
Ratchanan Chantananquit.
Yeah, I don't know him. Not gonna lie.
Chantananawat. Yeah, that's it, actually. I got it. Chantananawat.
You are struggling. No, I don't know who that is.
By the way, he goes by TK, I think. Chase Koepka, yes.
I do know Chase, yeah.
Wade Ormsby.
I do know Wade, yes.
I don't. Matt Jones, yes.
Obviously.
Ryosuke Kinoshita.
Yes, 100%.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, Ryo. Is that his full name there? Does he go by Ryo sometimes?
Yes,
on tour?
he goes by Ryo.
Okay,
yeah.
I think I have seen him then. Blake Windred.
No.
No. Martin Keimer, yes.
Yes.
Pablo Larrazabal.
No, but I want to be a fan. I like the name.
That's a good name. Not related to Olazabal.
No.
J.C. Ritchie.
Sure.
Ian Snyman.
No.
No. Kevin Na, yes.
Sure.
Sodoma Kaukanjana.
No, but I like the name.
Hidetu Tanahira.
Nope.
Viraj Madapa.
They should wear jerseys, but no.
They should. Sawan Kim.
Yes.
That's not, it's like, it's different than Si Woo Kim.
That's a different person, yes.
Yes. Scott Vincent.
Yeah.
You've heard of Scott Vincent?
Sure.
I have not.
Okay.
Junichiro Kazuma.
Don't think so.
And I'm not even attempting the other one.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, you know, who's the guy that has every letter of the alphabet on the PGA Tour?
Jazz?
Yeah.
Janen Wohout?
Yeah. Well, this guy's got more.
Okay.
Like, I would market this guy, and I'd brand him to, like, Wheel of Fortune.
That is something.
That would be great. Peter
is good.
Uihlein, yes, we've heard of.
Peter
Richard
Uihlein.
Bland, I've actually heard of. He competed in a major recently.
Yeah, he's good.
Pachara Kongwatmai. Either Travis Smith with a Y, by the way.
Yes.
Ian Poulter, yes. Lee Westwood, yes. Sam Horsfield, yes. Wow, that's 3 in a row.
That's good for you.
Laurie Cantor.
Sam Horsfield's good, by the way. No.
Horsfield's a Gator, isn't he?
Maybe. He's good.
Liu stays in, yes. Henny Duplessis.
Nah. Sounds French,
Charles Schwartzel and Brandon Grace. So there's 3 more on that team. Sergio Garcia, David Puig. There's an amateur. James Piot. Now, that's a USAM winner, I think, right?
Yep.
So that's one thing that's interesting about getting some of the young guns. Jediah Morgan, Graham McDowell, yes. Gosh, how many, this feels like more than 48. Bern Wiesberger, yes. Turk Pettit, and Oliver Fisher. You ever hear of Oliver Fisher?
No, I like the name, though.
No, I haven't either. Taylor Gooch, Hudson Swafford, yes. Adrian Atagui, and Andy Ogletree.
Ogletree.
Yeah, I have. That's it. That's all names. I mean, there are some names you've heard of. Some of the names you didn't care if you had heard of.
True.
And then there are like a lot of names, seriously, you have no idea. Now, again, in Europe and Asia, maybe those are big names over there, or bigger names than
That's
we
what
know,
I'm saying. Yeah,
you know?
like they.
It's a global thing. We can't get stuck just in the United States here.
Yeah, you got to get fans from all over, especially with a game like golf. So yeah, I think they did a good job of finding guys that are not necessarily known for the PGA Tour, but in reality, that's not necessarily what they're going for. They're going to play all over the world, and they're going to find fans in pretty much every spot because people are playing golf all over the place.
We'll talk about this a little bit later. There's more I want to get to in terms of, like, does this help the PGA Tour actually more than people think? But we got to get to our Power T picks of the week, so give it to us.
Oh, yeah. We do got to do that, the Power T picks of the week. So here's the deal with the Canadian Open. First time in like 3 years that they've played it because of COVID and all that. So it'll be exciting to be back. I believe Rory McIlroy won the last time they were in Canada, and he wore a Raptors jersey. That was pretty weird. He had no idea what the Raptors were. But nonetheless, the field is super weak. Not a big depth play in the field. It's hard to find guys outside of like the 9K on DraftKings that I like anyway. Matt Fitzpatrick, though, in the 9K, flesh in it at the top of it. 71st last week, so that's going to turn some people off. But before that, 2 top 5 finishes. He's putting out of his mind. He's literally doing everything right, but last week he didn't putt. If he brings that around, I think he has the potential to win. Terrell Hatton's another guy that's only missed 1 cut this year. That came in November of 2021. He's in the 9K, but he's going to pay it off. And then, Brent, we've talked about this guy, feels like every week, because he's just course proof, and that's my guy Vince. Don't call him Vincent Whaley. Dude makes the cut everywhere he goes. Doesn't matter. He's a walking bucket, automatic, making the cut, guaranteed. Write it down. Vincent Whaley makes the cut. Not sure how well he's going to do after that, but he makes the cut. I'm telling you, though, this is a weak field, so get your guys at the top, get Vincent Whaley, and then gamble with a couple other dudes, because, frankly, I couldn't find anybody else that I love. But it also helps with the course you haven't played in 3 years, so you don't really know what you're going to get. So kind of sketchy, but give me the 2 Englishmen, and then give me Vincent Whaley.
All right, that's Casey Kurtz with your Power Tee picks of the week for the Canadian Open on the PGA Tour. That is here this week on the Dream 18 show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors and Power Tee. We're live from Davoli's House of Cards. Once again, big thanks to Russell Knox for coming on. You'll be able to catch this conversation really anytime if you go to YouTube, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, and also it will drop on the podcast as well this weekend, Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, wherever you get your podcasts. We're not done from Davoli's House of Cards. We talk more sports and a little bit more about the golf, too. Still more questions about this incoming league that could be a rival to the PGA Tour, or could it even help the PGA Tour is one of my questions I have. And Jack Del Rio with some controversial comments. The former Jags coach getting a lot of heat now for what he had to say. That is all on the way on Action Sports Jacks on ESPN 690, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. from Davoli's House of Cards. Next.
It's a good time to upgrade around your home. You like the sound of reducing noise coming in the house? Do you want to be more energy efficient at your house? Let Florida Georgia Windows and Doors upgrade your home. 35 years of experience to get the job done. Protect your home from storms and increase your home security with modern windows and doors from Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. 904-641-7010. 904-641-7010. Save money, look better, protect your home with Florida Georgia Windows and Doors.
A proud sponsor of the Dream 18 is Power Tee. Find out everything you need to know about them at PowerTee.com, because they just make golf better. They provide an automatic teeing system while you are on the range. It is easy. No bending, no extra energy. Just worry about making contact, or trying to, and then Power Tee will tee up another ball for you. Locally, find Power Tee at Fleming Island and Blue Sky Golf Club, and all over the world, including St. Andrews. PowerTee.com for all the information, and make